Thank you so much. Okay, we fixed that. So really quick, this video, we're going to talk about the federal agencies. And federal agencies are spending and sitting on right now $250 billion that they must spend by the end of the budget cycle, or it's gone forever. And why is this important? And why only 5% of that is on SAM.gov? So, where is the other 95% of federal contracts? Where are they hiding? And in this video, towards the end of the video, I'm going to share with you where they are. But first and foremost, I want to explain to you three things that you need to know about federal spending. And right now is the early onset of the September surge, which is the last quarter of the fiscal year. And the fiscal year starts in October and it ends in September. We're towards the end of middle to end of June, and we'll start to see quite a bit of an influx of $250 billion that have to be spent. Now, they usually try to do about 25% of spending per quarter, and that typically ends up a little bit tighter. They usually do about 19 to 20%. So it starts to kind of add up really small and incremental, but it adds up. And the September surge is how it got its name. It's a surge of opportunity, a surge of contracts. And if you're thinking, I want to get a contract, I want to win a contract, I want to add revenue to my business, whether it's a one time contract or a 3 year, 5 year contract or a task order, this is the time to start getting positioned. And so let's talk about the use it or lose it mandate and what this actually means. So, a use it or lose it mandate is something that is put into place. It's a law, it's a rule that if they don't spend it, it's gone. The next fiscal year, they're not going to get those dollars. So that's why there's such an urge to push these fundings out. And it's also part of just economic health and growth of the economy locally and federally. Now, there are rules that kind of like think about the federal government. A lot, oftentimes people think it's just one big organization, and it kind of is, but it doesn't function like one big organization. It's not like they all know what each other is doing. I mean, an extent they do, but it's decentralized or it's separated. It's kind of like having a holding company and then having subsidiaries under it, where each and every one has a different mission, vision, goal. They have different leadership, expectations, initiatives, and a budget. And for each agency, because they have something different that they're focused on, they're really kind of focused in a silo, opposed to with another agency that might be focused on something completely different. Why is this important? When we understand this, then federal government contracting isn't just about what contracts are available on sim.gov. It's about what's on the budget and what is listed to be spent this fiscal year by the agencies that are going to buy your services. And now it just takes all of that overwhelm that you had and simplifies it. So, who is buying what you sell? And it's just that simple. Instead of looking at all of the agencies and the dozens and dozens and dozens and dozens of sub agencies, we're just talking to and speaking through those agencies that are buying your services. So, when it comes to the use it or lose it mandate, it's less about, okay, what's going to show up on sam.gov and I can't wait to bid on those, versus it's more about what is on the budget, what has been forecasted to be spent. Like right now in June, I can actually see, my clients can see what will be spent in July, August, September. We already know ahead of time. And this information is available, but it's scattered all over the place. But it's important to know what this is so that you can prepare. I mean, one of the frustrating things about government contracting is they only give you 2 weeks to respond, 2 weeks to figure out your team, 2 weeks to figure out your pricing, 2 weeks to put all the marketing information and make it look good. And just, it's a lot in addition to reading a very long document, an RFP or an ITB, and it's just a lot of overwhelm. And instead of having that overwhelm happen within 2 weeks, you'll have more time, but then you're kind of like cherry picking what's right fit for you. And instead of throwing things at the wall and expecting them to fit blindly. So the use it or lose it mandate is it's a law. It's necessary to exist so that there's a circulation of financial dollars that are going through the economy, and we're a part of that. As we bid contracts and we get awarded those contracts, those dollars get spent at our local level, and of course that helps to stimulate the economy. So there are huge benefits for participating in government contracts. You already know about cash flow predictability, and this is a quick way for you to do that, especially during the September surge, because they're looking to spend the money fast. Now, there's a question that has come up a couple of times in our community about, well, does this mean that we start working on the contract when it gets awarded? Those are two separate things. So there's the procurement process, which is where the appropriate dollars go into. You respond to a bid or a proposal and you get awarded the contract. Well, that's phase one. Phase two is actually delivering the work. And depending on that contract, work might start immediately or it might be delayed a few months or until the next fiscal year. But you've been locked into a contract, and that's the most important part. It's not enough just to get awarded, it's where you want to really feel ease and like just kind of relaxation is once the ink is dry and it's been signed in the contract, because you have to go through certain qualifications, and they evaluate you and they confirm that you can actually deliver the work after you get awarded before you go to contract. It's not like they just give you a word and they go straight to contract. It's we want to make sure that we are doing the right thing. You have your insurance. If you're in construction or engineering, you got bonding, you got the right paperwork in the right places, and you can actually deliver the work like you said. This is a last check mark. Now, if you can't, it goes to the next person that bid, or the next one, or the next one. And so this is something that I hear often is, what do I do, Melinda? I feel like once I win the contract, I might not be able to deliver. It's like, well, that's why we're only going to look for contracts that are right fit for your business, meaning contracts you're comfortable with delivering that are very similar to the size contracts you've delivered before for clients on the private sector side. And that way, it's just kind of getting you acclimated, getting you comfortable with how things go in the public sector before you go after the gargantuan opportunities. Now, the second point that I'm going to share with you after the use it or lose it mandate is the top three agencies with the highest unobligated funds, which means that there is this like extra, I like to simplify things. So unobligated funds is like the extra dollars that have to be spent that are ancillary, the contingency plan. It's the extra little bit just in case something happens. That's also incorporated into or accounted by the budget cycle. So included with the budgeted items, that contingency plan has to be spent. All those dollars have to be spent. And so that is a huge opportunity for businesses that have a new opportunity for an agency. Let me give you an example. Right now, everybody's talking about AI. Just, I can use AI to write proposals. I can use AI to find opportunities. I can use AI to write me an entire website. And the thing that you can't use AI to do is to have a conversation, a thoughtful, thorough conversation with another human being. Most people haven't figured that out yet. Yet, agencies are using AI for marketing, for advertising, and for other things around the office. What if you are the AI expert and you could speak to it, and you also have served clients with AI, that you can actually come in and educate them on the best ways to use AI in the organization, just like a private sector company. The same conversation, just in a different translation. That simple. Or, for example, there's been on the to-do list to get a roof fixed for one of the military barracks, and it's been on the to-do list forever, but they just haven't gotten around to it, and it's out of their budget. But this year, their contingency is a lot larger. They've got a lot more to spend, and this is an opportunity for you to come in and say, hey, I know we talked about it. I know this is something that you want to get done, and it just hasn't you haven't gotten around to it, let's look at the numbers. Let's see how we can get it done, or maybe break it out into phases so that we're addressing the areas that have occupied spaces now, and then we can deal with the vacant spaces later on. Coming with solutions that are specific to the problems that agencies have said that they have. This is huge. This is huge. I mean, this changes the conversation from waiting for the opportunity to just fly out, drop from the sky, to creating the opportunity because you see this problem that you can easily solve. And this is what we talk about when it's the top three agencies. Like, how do we know what the top three agencies are? Well, you could go to usaspending.gov and see who are the top three agencies that spend on your services. So you look by NAICS code, and towards the end of the right hand side graphic, you'll see basically the spending by agency, and you can just see right there, done. Or you can take it a step further and actually identify what their budgets are. Like, go through that activity of USA spending and then identify the current fiscal year budget. So 2026 fiscal year budget, and look at it, read it, and understand it, and where they're spending and what they have spent, and just kind of double check what has been awarded versus what hasn't. Really simple, really easy. It's kind of like the process of elimination, if you will. But that's the quickest way right now to find your three agencies that will have contracts and opportunities for you to bid on, and to open up conversations about advisory and consulting. Third point here is the third grade simple solution for your agency, what your agency or your company provides. This is huge. One of the biggest mistakes that business owners make is they create one capability statement that is generated by AI, that is not specific and tailored, that does not have a value proposition, that does not differentiate themselves, other than just lists their certifications and their company name, and like some beautiful marketing speak language of like what their company does. And then they list all of the services that they want to do or have done. I've spoken to dozens of contracting officers on the federal side, and dozens of purchasing managers and directors on the SLED side. And they both have come back to me and say, Melinda, please teach them how to create a capability statement. Not because you guys are doing it wrongfully, it's that it's not solving a problem. Every single agency has a different problem. It might be the same roof, like that you do roofing. I do roofing. I don't understand, Melinda. It's more than the roof. It's, what is the facility? Is it an office? Is it a gym? Is it a garage? Like, what is the roof? What is the roof attached to? If you're in construction, you're like, I'm a general contractor, and we do everything, right? You're just listing all of the things a general contractor does, and you're just linked to your website, certifications. I'm MBE, I'm veteran owned, I'm this and this and this. This does not differentiate you, making you stand out. It doesn't make you unique. It makes you blend in with everyone else. And anytime you blend in with everyone else, it makes it harder. It's called friction, marketing and friction. It makes it harder for anyone to select you or remember you. And that's a hard pill to swallow when you know that there are thousands of other companies that you're competing with. And it's not to scare you, but it's to excite you, because their opportunity is that the majority of them are doing it wrong. So why don't you do it right? And you can stand out with the very few, the 1 to 5 to 10 that are out there of the thousands upon thousands of companies that provide construction services, and stand out as someone that actually has a unique differentiator. One of our clients, I'll share with you, it has a GC firm, and he is great. I mean, like, looking at his private sector experience in his business, he's at 7 million in revenue annually. And you could see that the majority of his track record has been historical renovations. This is amazing. Historical renovations. Now that stands out versus then speaking to general contracting or I'm a construction manager. I do anything, whatever. I could do all that stuff. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I've done a piece of that before. Or I've done a small bit of it. I was on a team for this. Way too generic. And it becomes overwhelming. So instead, I advise them to stay focused on historical renovations. And you might think to yourself, well, I live in a state where there aren't any historical renovations. And I'm here to tell you there is a historical renovation project in every state in the United States. You can just look up the National Historic Registry, and I mean, they're everywhere. And it also makes you stand out from everyone else. So there are specific aspects of historical renovation, like tying into an existing plumbing system. There is also the material that's used in that building. That's not the new modern, um, you know, materials. It's older materials that you match. There's maybe brick replacements, and there's different things. And so that in and of itself becomes a category that makes you stand out from everyone else that is saying, I do construction. So the same thing for, say, a marketing company. If you have a marketing company, you do branding, you do social media, website design, flyers, brochures, booklets, all these things. Huge, huge opportunity for marketing agencies. And so, how do you stand out? I mean, everybody else does the same thing. Well, look back at your history in your business and what have you done? What has made you stand out? What has made you so unique and so different from everyone else? That is the thing that you stand out with. You see, you're not trying to blend in with everyone. You're not trying to say what the NICS code says. NICS code is just filtering you for federal contracts. That's all it's doing. It's just making sure that you see contracts that more than likely are going to be what you can bid on. That's all it is. But when you get filtered out, you don't want to look like everyone else, and your branding is only one element of the whole thing. I mean, you can make something look really good, but when they start reading it, they're like, I don't even understand. It's pretty, but I don't know if that means that you're capable of doing something. Or what was that one with the pink and green cover on it? Like it's not going to be memorable. Sorry, and they're not going to remember it. So, how do you stand out as a marketing and branding company? How do you stand out? Well, you've maybe helped one of our clients is a marketing company. So, I'll use her as an example. A lot of her past experiences with sports companies. And so sports and recreation, a lot of sports and recreation. And so that's her unique differentiator. That's what makes her stand out. Well, Melinda, I mean, we're talking about federal agencies. Like, where are they going to need sports? If you go to USA Spending, you'll find contracts that have been awarded to sports agencies. Hello, we're in the midst of the FIFA World Cup. Like that is associated with the federal government, and they have contracts. And even though it's a private mission and commission, there are federal contracts that are associated with the FIFA in collaboration that need those services. And so sports is still something that is needed. There's tourism, there is obviously military that is heavily in sports. There's also different divisions of agencies that need sports and recreation. And so they already do that, and they just need marketing material to promote that, to support that. And that becomes a beautiful blend. And that way, you're staying within your zone of genius. You're staying within what you know. And that means that your systems in your business don't have to change. Your clients that you serve, they don't have to go anywhere. They, in fact, are going to have an elevated experience because now they know you as an authority, not just in private sector, but in public sector. Now you're going to benefit from cash flow and consistency and predictability and knowing that there are opportunities that are right fit for your business. I'm going to give you one more example. If you're an engineering firm, let's say you're a building design engineering firm, and you provide MEP services, and you've done that for office buildings and hospitals and schools, even private schools, charter schools. Well, there is an easy and simple translation into the public sector. There's offices, there's schools, there's our education facilities that are besides the public schools that are under state and local, but also federal institution educations, like military academies. So there are opportunities for you to leverage your understanding of what you do and your focus and what your experience has been, and then translate that into government contracts. And this works for federal and, of course, SLED. And the last thing that I'm going to share with you today about these $250 billion is, here's the thing. $250 billion, you might think to yourself, that's a lot of money. It is. But one thing about money is that it moves quickly. Money loves speed. Money loves speed because money is speed. Money moves at the speed of light. And those dollars are for you. There's opportunities for you. And if you don't take action on them, you don't move on them, they will go to somebody else who will move. And so it's not about whether or not you're ready or you're capable, or I've only had my business for 2 years, but I have 20 years of experience. I mean, you are more than ready to go. All that matters is you taking a step forward. If you're making a decision that you're at least going to try, you're at least going to put your hat in the ring, that you're at least going to prepare, do your due diligence and not wait around for contracts to land on your lap. Now, what do we do now? What is the first thing that I would recommend you do right now, today, the time that you're watching this video, is actually just look at your business. What have you done? Just take 5 minutes, write it down, piece of paper, just a simple piece of paper, or a notebook or something like that, and write down quickly and easily and simply what is the service that I have provided for who? Not just the service, but for who? What industry are they in? How big is their organization? What was the problem that I solved? And when you have that information, you're able to stand out. Now, the second thing that I would recommend you do is clean up your capability statement. Like, no more generic, please promise me. Comment down, promise down below that you're done with the generic capability statements. We're done. It's over. It's a wrap. We're not doing anymore. It's time to level up. It's time to level up. So what you're going to do, you're going to print out. I don't want you to look at it on a computer. There's something, I don't know what it is, but every time, and it's the same for my team, every single time we print something out, it looks completely different on screen versus in print. Print it out, print your capability statement out. If it's more than one page, you already know what to do. You need to simplify it. There's going to be a few things that I want to make sure you have on your capability statement. And it's going to be key. It's going to be crucial, because once you find out what agencies are buying what you sell, you're going to reach out to that 𝗕𝗢𝗡, and then you're going to submit your capability statement. Okay. This is action items, activities. Okay. So what you're going to do on your capability statement, the things that you're going to look for is you're going to look for opportunities that are aligned to what those agencies need. Meaning, if they say, we need 10 pounds of gala apples on your capability statement, you're going to say, we have delivered 10 pounds of gala apples. Now, be careful. Never lie. Always tell the truth. Always say what you do and what you've done. If you've delivered 20, great. If you've delivered 2 5-pound bags, great. You always want to be honest. Now, what is that going to do? It's going to show relatability. It's going to be right in alignment to what they say they need. Instead of saying, I provide fruit, no, you're going to say, I provide gala apples. Very specific. Not apples, gala apples, because that's what they said they needed. You're going to say, how many times? When did you deliver it? How did you package it? These are things you're going to include in your capability statement. This is what you say about your company. You know, like that section where it's like about your company. That's what you say about your company. We deliver gala apples, 2-pound, 5-pound, and 10-pound, and 20-pound, or whatever apples to agencies and private sector organizations. Now, below that, you're going to show proof really quick. This is kind of like a business card, if you will. So simple, really quick. Name of client, outcome, and date. If you don't have, like, I wouldn't put any pricing on your capability statement, but you can put 2025 on there, or like a year. That's it. Simple, boom, boom, boom. Do that. Then you're going to have your NAICS codes. Now you're going to get the NAICS code for fruit. There isn't a NAICS code for gala apples, but there is a NAICS code for fruit. And so now it is so clear. It's like, oh, when I put a contract out for fruit, there's going to be an opportunity for gala apples and they're going to respond to it. Simple, clear. Your contact information. If you have a Gmail, get rid of it immediately. If we're not honest with ourselves about growing our business, if we're not committed to growing our business, I don't care if you're in 7, 8-figure business and you say it's been working, it's time to just get a domain. $12. It's Starbucks coffee for the day. Okay. So $12, get a domain and have an email address that is professional. Your phone number. This is not going to be a generic number. This is not going to be like, it just goes to this pool of people, then they pick up and like, hello. No, this is your direct. And your name. You're a business owner. They want to speak to you. They want to speak to you. Until you get to 8 figures, 9 figures in your business, then you can hire a business developer and they can put their name on it, but you are the business developer. You are representing the business for now, okay? The other things that you want to have on there, you want to mention your certifications. Here's the thing. You want to mention your licenses. Any licenses that are associated with you delivering the work. If you're an engineer or contractor, are you licensed in the state? That is essential. It's a huge, it's so funny because many people who I've seen thousands of capability statements, and many people will say, I am a general contractor, and they don't have a license. I asked them, I said, are you licensed in the state? And they said, no. I said, well, they have to follow the law. So do you, right? Make sure that you're registered in the appropriate state. Okay. These are things that you got to do. Now, the last thing that you're going to do, and it's not in your capability statement, is you're going to want to, the last thing, your NAICS codes, your PSCs, and your SICs. Get those codes. Now, this capability statement is only for federal contracting. If you send this capability statement to someone who is buying gala apples at the state and local level, they will look at you cross-eyed because NAICS codes are not affiliated with state and local. They are only for federal. There's a whole different commodity code set, and some agencies have their own commodity codes. So this is really, 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 really important. Nobody talks about this, and it's so annoying, but this is such a big deal. It's kind of like going to, Spain and talking Italian. It's like going to Italy and expecting people to talk German. Now, this may happen. People are everywhere, so you never know who you're going to meet. But the language of Spain is Spanish. So we're going to make sure that we speak the language of that client, that person, that agency, okay? But the thing that you're going to want to do after that, once you have your capability statement, let's go ahead and just make sure that we have all our ducks in a row. I don't care if you're a 7 or 8 figure business. It doesn't matter. Make sure you do this. Make sure your business is registered. And make sure you have a business bank account. You could be making millions of dollars, but not set up properly. Make sure you have a business bank account. You should have had that already set up when you had your SAM registration. I've heard stories. So let's just double check you got all the information you put in SAM is accurate and up to date. Because you never know. They may get the capability statement and they say, oh, well, there's actually a micro purchase for this, that, and the other. Are you prepared to do that? And you say yes with glee and excitement. This happened to one of our clients. And you have no way for them to pay you. And guess what they do? You're not ready. They move on. They don't wait for you. They go and they move on. There's someone else that wants your contract. Go get it. This is not the season to be afraid. This is not the season to hide. This is not the season to find an excuse like, oh, I got a gazillion things to do. Listen to the thing. You have a sales pipeline. You need to work your sales pipeline. How long? This is a question to ask you before you ask, how long does it take to get a contract? The question I'm going to ask you is, how long does it take you to close contracts now? I mean, real current deals with private sector clients. How long does it take you? Does it take you a day? Does it take you a week? Does it take you a month? On average, if you're selling to corporate, it's about 4 to 6 months, depending on what you're selling. If you're selling a 6-figure contract or more, 4 to 6 months, sometimes longer. If you're selling one, $1,000, maybe $10,000, yeah, it might take a few weeks. On average, in our proposal agency, it takes, it's deadline sensitive. So sometimes it's 24 hours, sometimes it's a week, sometimes it's 3 weeks, sometimes it's 5 weeks, sometimes it's a year. So it's not like, oh, well, I'll get to it. I'll get around to it. I need to start now. And this is the same. It applies to government contracting. It's starting now. It's starting to build relationship now. It's starting to look at contracts now. It's starting to look at fiscal year 2027 and what has been appropriated for that, even though it hasn't been fully approved, but there are discussions and we already know what they're spending. We already know what they're going to spend. We already know what they're going to spend in 2028 and 2029 and 2030. This is something I teach. Why? Because when you know what's going on ahead of time, then you build the right relationships. You build the right relationships with agencies, with contracting partners like other companies, and you know where to spend your time. And you're not just scrolling through sam.gov because it only has 5% of the contracts. So what do? How do we find the other 95%? I promised you, if you stay till the end, you would hear the answer. Okay, you ready? You got your little pen, paper? Okay. The other 95% is in other vehicles, GSA schedules. They're in task orders like IDIQs. And so if you're looking for contracts, you're like, where do I go? Where do I look? You can look up bigger vehicles, like not one-offs, not prime contracts. You're going to look for task orders. You're going to look for task orders. This is something you can easily search for in your AI tool, like Perplexity, Sam.gov, or Perplexity, ChatGPT, or Claude, or whatever you use. Simple, easy. Just ask for where can I find IDIQs or MSAs or large contract vehicles. That's the term you're going to use because there are dozens of contract vehicles at the federal level, and that's your beam of existence. Now, what does that mean? That's a strategy around task orders and getting into them, and that's a whole different conversation. If you want information about that, just comment below, and I'll make a separate video on that. But that's where the 95% are. The 5% is on SAM. The 95%, where the pros are living, where the pros are going to build relationships with business owners like you, they're in task orders, baby. They're in task orders. So many of them available right now. It's insane. And these dollars have to be spent. So are you going to sit on the sideline, talk about maybe one day if I have to do this, that, and the other, or are you just going to take action and get it done? Because everything that I said today to do, you can get it done in less than 30 minutes. It doesn't take long. So just get it done. Okay. Um, all right. Well, I appreciate you. I think it's Shalowik. I appreciate you for being here. Okay. She says, I've been following your content since last year. That's so cool. Oh my gosh, that's so awesome. Thank you so much. I hope that it serves you and would love to know where you're getting stuck. Put in the comments. Do you work with startups or businesses with no past performance? So, Carlisle, hey, what's up, Carlisle? So, when you say startups or small business, tell me what your business is. Like, what do you do? What's the experience that you have? What do you want to sell? I got a few minutes and then I got to head out, but I want to definitely help you, Carlisle. Tell me what's going on? Because that startups versus a business with no past performance are two separate things, completely different things. So just tell me what your services are. What do you sell? What's your experience? Yeah, just tell me what you do. I'll give you an example. A startup is pre-revenue. So um, it could be that you were a copywriter for the last 20 years and you want us to start a candle business. So have you ever designed candles before? Right? And so that's where I'm going. Okay, I've spent 20 years in logistics and currently 7 years in I oh wow. So you're not starting out. Neither of these are applying to you. So you're not a startup. Your business might be new. Your business might be new. And this is very common, Carlisle. This is a question that most people they get like this is you're with a lot of people that I talk to. They're like, I my business is really young, but I have like a gazillion years of experience. And I'm like, you're you're this is okay. So let me explain what's happening. Why do people think this? Okay. It's a mindset thing. So when we think of our business and we're looking like I remember the first day of my business and I created my bank account. I had all my paperwork done for state, local, federal. I was like, I had everything in place. And I remember coming home and after going to the bank and looking at my bank account, and it's like zero. And I had to like put money into my bank account. And I was like, this is weird. It felt odd. It was like, and it's considered pre revenue. You're pre revenue. And so I thought I was a startup. Now I hired a coach and she said, well, you're going to do the same thing you did in corporate, right? And she's like, yeah. And you have like over a decade of experience doing that. I said, yes. And she's like, so then you're not new. Like you're just doing it for someone else. So even though in like the definition of a startup is an entity and company that is brand new, your business isn't new without like you have assets because you are the business asset. You're bringing the 7 years of experience, the 20 years of logistics. This is insane. You have so much experience. And so you're gonna like it's just this is why I say it's a mindset. It's just shifting your mind to not think about the years that your business has been established, because that's important for legal reasons. But when you're selling, when you're doing business development, with government contracting agencies, when you're selling to private sector, whenever you're talking about your experience because that's what you're using, you're leveraging in your business. You're not saying that I have no experience. You're saying that I'm coming with 20 years of experience. Do you know there are very few of you, my friend. Okay. You have a lot of experience. Okay. All right. I created my LLC 2 years ago, but I have a 3-year-old and 1-year-old. So put the company on hold until now. I totally get it. You got a lot going on, a lot going on. And that's totally okay. This is about really where you want to be. Like what there's one thing about caring, and then there's one thing about vision. I feel like vision is important, and I'm sure that you want to create a better life for you and your kids, and just, have better things going on. And that's one thing. And then also, if there's a plan of action, it's not stopping completely. It's just doing what you can in the season that you're in. So there's 4 seasons, right? And hopefully this serves you. So there's 4 seasons. There's winter, spring, summer, fall, right? Winter, everything is frozen. Everything feels like it's not moving. A lot of people feel like they're in winter. Like life is not moving, nothing is happening, it feels stuck, right? It's frozen. But here's the thing. What we know, and I truly believe with all my heart, is that in winter, we're not supposed to use our physical muscles. We're supposed to use our mental ones. Even though we're kind of frozen in moment, like we're kind of frozen in time, in winter, we're still able to see and think. So if you're in winter, carry a journal, like still document things, dictate things. There's a tool, it's called Reflect. It's Reflect AI. Let me show you what it looks like. Oh, how do I? Oh gosh. So okay, I don't know if you can see that. There it goes. Reflect AI. So every once in a while, when I have ideas, I'm driving, I'm at golfing, I'm walking, I'm reading, whatever it is. I don't know if you can see it because of the glare. There it is. Okay. You can see it. I just take notes and I can dictate it. I can just turn it. It connects to my Bluetooth. So right in my car, and I can just talk to it and be like, yeah, I want to just also incorporate blah, 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 blah. And it transcribes the whole thing and it gets saved. And all of those ideas are so valuable for when you get into spring. Because in winter, there's the mind and the eyes are seeing things. You start paying attention to where people are going, the trends, the demand. You can still think, even though you can't move. See, there's be still and know that I am God. There's a season that there are things that happen for a reason. It's not working against you, it's serving you. This is where patience is growing. Because when we get in spring, and the snow melts on the soil and it softens everything, and we start growing again. Now we know where to point our direction towards. We point towards the light. We're not in a shaded spot. We have moved. We know exactly where to point our light. And so in the soil, everything gets softened and we start to grow again. Now, when we get to summer, things start to get hard. And this is why in spring, it's a time to prepare. In the book of Proverbs, talking about the ant and how he prepares for this future season. And so it's always a time to prepare for something, but it's not going to look the same. So when you're thinking like, I want it to be, this is what I'm going to do at 8 a.m. every single day when the kids are dropped off at daycare. It's not. You can work towards it, but don't beat yourself when you're in a different season. This is just a different season. So when you're in spring, yeah, you can move, you can ride, you can glide, you can enjoy yourself, right? But you're also preparing at the same time. But you can use your physical muscles. You're pulling out some containers so the rain can just fill up these basins so that when summer comes, you have water to continue to water your plant, and it continues to grow while everyone else is just taking a nap, a little siesta. Your plant is still growing, it's thriving, and the roots are deep and wide. And that way, when you get to harvest, to fall, now you have something to pluck. And you do that. So everything, there's a season. So your kids right now, they need you. I mean, they're at very, very young ages. They need you. So what can we be doing right now? We could be thinking, we could be having conversations, coffee chats with the right people. We could be in the right rooms at the right time. We could be networking. We could be, there are so many things that you could be doing right now that don't require a lot of time. It requires leverage. It requires being in the right place, the right time. Now, how do you know when you're in the right place, the right time? You actually know when you're in the right place at the right time before you're there. So let me explain. In my curriculum, I have a saying, and I actually ask every single client to say this. And I say, if it's not leverage, it's not for you. If it's not leverage, it's not for you. Government contracting is all about leverage. Okay. So you've had your business, your LLC for 2 years. You have 20 years of experience. Where are you? What state are you in? What state are you in? Because I really want to know. No rigidity, but I'm ready to get the gears moving. Yeah, you're good. So this is about building relationships with, oh my gosh, you're in Nashville. Carla, what are we talking about? There's so much opportunity. Logistics, the development that's happening in and around the metropolitan area of Nashville, the airport. Oh my gosh, the airport. Like there's so much. Schools are expanding. There's so much. So this is just relationship. I know I'm serious. This is a relationship. This is just relationship play. So in 20 years, awesome. Awesome. You might not even need it right now. I'm telling you, logistics is really it's if you told me that you made candles, I'd say, okay, you might want to get, but because logistics is so unique and you have 20 years of experience, you're in a league of your own. Um, and so I would say that you just need to build the right relationships in that. What are we talking about? In Nashville? You've got state, local, and federal all within the same state. You have so many departments in the same state. What are we talking about? They're looking for you. So one thing that I'd do is I'd go ahead and there's a link in the description to register for my upcoming training on Thursday. I think it's on Thursday, the 25th, right? Yeah. On Thursday. It's a free masterclass. We'll talk. I would love for you to be there so we could deep dive into this because I had to head out in a few minutes. Second thing is think about, I would just take some time. We're in winter, thinking, right? Thinking, seeing. So think about who you worked with and for during that season. Who you worked with and for during that season. 20 years. What were the projects that you worked on? For what? For what? This is huge. All you're going to do is identify whether whatever or whoever it's supposed to be. Like, just think about it. The last 20 years. And one of the reasons why people hide their past experience is because of pain. Pain is a prerequisite for mastery. Carlisle, you have mastery. I'm getting chills. So you already have everything you need. And it might not feel like you could use that 20 years of experience. It might feel like you have to start all over again, but you're not starting all over again. You're using what you already have. Everything works. Everything works for your good. So it's just going to this is an opportunity. We're just looking back and saying, okay, so the last 20 years, what were all the projects? While the kids are taking a nap, having their snack outside, doing whatever, just dictate it. Go in your Reflect app, just talk about it on the way to and from locations, places, whatever. Just talk to it. Like, think about it. This is going to do a lot of things for you. It might shift you, and I'm really grateful that it will. Professionals often don't realize that they're professional because the pain that they had to go through to become the professional that they are. So just go back, reflect on that. Huge wins. Bring that to the training. And then just remind me that we talked. Remind me, put it in the chat that we talked, because what I'd like to do is then show you the translation of that in government contracting, because there's easy it doesn't even matter what it is. There is whatever is in demand in private sector is in demand in public sector. And I have a feeling that you may have worked for a company that did government contracts, because logistics is money, and it's not for everybody. Not everybody can do it. So let me know. But I do have to head out. I hope this served you. I hope it blessed you. Great to meet you, Carlisle. Thank you so much for sticking around for a while. And comment below if you guys are going to do the work. Promise me to do the work. Update your capability statement. And you're going to go to USA Spending. You're going to review that information and see what are the top 3 agencies that you should be building relationship with. You're going to go look for their current fiscal year budget, 2026 budget for those agencies. Look for your line items. Oh, that's how they serve it. This is why they're going to buy my services. Update your capability statement before you reach out to your 𝗕𝗢𝗡𝗡. And that, my friend, is your starting point for winning and taking advantage of the September surge, because it's coming, baby. God bless you guys. Love you. Bye.